What's up, everybody? This is the poker coaching study session. Today, we're going to be looking at
Playing from the low jack against the button in single raised pots using the trainer.
All right, you want me to go into it?
Hit it.
Okay, so today we're going to alternate everybody having a chance of the trainer. We're going to be opening from all three positions, getting flatted in the button, and then playing from there. So let's just look at very quickly what let's start with the widest. Let's see what this range looks like. So it's very tight. It's only 2% of hands that he's actually flatting here. It gets cut off.
Which is not realistic, but the hands that he is flatting are realistic to see these flatted.
Yeah, true.
So
We
in
all know
reality,
that.
it can be wider than this, but
Yeah, yeah.
I wouldn't be surprised if his range concentrates in this area.
Um, let's raise here, see if it's different at all. Yeah, it's about 4%. So it's a pretty tight range that they have.
Right. But look at how similar the hands are. It's just how often he does it.
True. True.
Yeah,
I guess Button is more respectful of the RFI range of UTG, which is tighter than
Yeah.
cutoff, so there's less three bets.
Yeah.
All right, I'll do the first one and then we'll go from there. So next hand. So UTG versus Button. Kind of like a check raise here. I don't know if he's gonna bet, but this I think generally. Yeah, we're gonna check pure, which means we're gonna have check raises with this combo. Especially against this size. When you use a smaller size, we're gonna check raise more.
Mhm.
We don't think we need to go to 12 bigs. I think we can go to 7.5 here. So we could do either here.
Yep.
Kind of curious what we don't just do that much check raising here. Across the entire range. Continue. Check raise, call. That's not the greatest card. I don't want to check here. I think we're gonna check here a lot. Yeah, mostly check. We can bet. We can continue, but mostly check.
And the bet is not an overbet when we do it. 75.
Yeah, so um kind of torn between B60 or B35. I think I'm gonna B60. No, we want to check. Solver is very, very defensive, at least defensively out of position.
Mm.
Let's see what happens though.
Calls and he has pocket queen.
Yeah,
What the hell?
yeah. So he's gonna have somewhat of a flattening range with pocket queens against UTG. It's the best hand that he flats that
Yeah.
solver will want to flat against UTG. So when UTG opens here, button, it's gonna flat like 20% of the time.
Yeah.
Okay, who's next?
I'm next.
All right.
Ace king. I would like to raise ace king in the cutoff, please. And I did, and he called. On this board, I can mix checks and bets. I'm going to choose to. This is an easy check call with the ace of clubs, so I'm with ace of spades. So I'm going to go for this time. I'm going to do the check. But I
Okay.
believe
I think, yeah, I think it's gonna mix. Right, pure
Oh,
check.
no bets. Okay, just check. All right.
Pure range check. I mean, we can.
Yep.
Maybe this is a kind of time to talk about how against humans this may not be the best strategy, but we're learning solver baseline,
Mhm.
and we'll take it from there. I mean, humans aren't going to have a 2% flooding range; they're going to have a 10% or 15% flooding range.
Yeah.
So
Mhm.
Okay, so we're gonna check this. He's gonna
check, check.
Humans are not, at this point, we can against humans, we can bet. We can bet for value now against humans, because they don't protect their check back range enough. Against the solver, you've got to do some checking, but I'm gonna play this like a human. And I am going to bet. I'm gonna bet 50% on this. I'm happy with that. It goes for the smaller one. Call. And now I'm going to do I'm gonna do a check call against most sizes and he's gonna bet it a lot. Okay, was doesn't bet it at all. Okay, there we go. Check, check, great, and just check win. Oh, check lose.
Who's next?
I can go.
Next is Paul.
Hey,
What's
Paul,
up,
good
guys?
luck.
Hey, nice to meet you guys. First meeting.
Hey, Paul.
Yeah, welcome.
Welcome.
Thanks for coming. All right,
Cool.
now we've changed position, right? Now we're in UTG versus button. So ostensibly you have a stronger range.
For sure. In a position, I'll go ahead and check. Oh, yeah.
It's fine.
Yeah, bet 37% probably with a gut shot.
I'm curious here, out of UTG strategy. Curious if we bet with the king of spades. No, it's mixing across all.
What size does it like if I do that? Let's see here.
Well, you can see it here. So like, if
Oh.
you look at these actions for global frequency, the only size it chooses on this texture is
Small. Yeah.
E33. Yeah, small.
Cool.
Check, check, it's gone.
All right, so I think it's time to start betting. Between the sizes, I think someone probably likes either. Let's go a small bet. Let's go 33%.
Yeah, it's gonna start bluffing. No, I think it looks at, I mean, so this is not a value bet, obviously, this is. Yeah, this 25% equity, so this is, generally it thinks of its value above 50% equity, so we're constructing a bluff here.
But we are often bluffing with the best hand here. When we get a fold, we have the best hand.
Yeah, that's valid. So we have a very interesting river here. What would you like to do?
It certainly is an interesting river. I'm not too worried just because Queen of Spades. It could, we'll go defensive. We'll go check with plans to check call. Let's go and check.
Yeah, well done. And we win against Jack. Let's look and see where it's solver sees its value betting threshold to be on river here. So if we're on river, out of position here. There's a couple ways to look at this. We'll just use this way. It's not even fully, so this must be. So trap checking eights, but I think tap pair. Yeah, top pair is really the threshold, I think. We can look at this a different way too. Like this is the bottom of its betting threshold, value threshold, I think. We could see it here. We can see it really easy if we look at breakdown. This is why I like breakdown so much. Are you familiar with the breakdown tab at all, Paul?
I'm not, no, I'm not familiar with this, with Wizard in general.
You're gonna
Just a-
love it.
Yeah, just a quick overview. I'm kind of a nerd about this breakdown tab, I guess is the way to put it. It's just that, so down here is our lowest equity,
Mm-hmm.
and then as it moves up, our equity gets higher and higher.
Mm-hmm.
And so we can see that kind of manifested a couple ways. Number one, the hand we have, which is now in the dark. It's like this dark region here. This is at the very bottom of our value betting region, which is at 65% equity. This is these numbers represent our equity. So we could see going from bottom 1% equity to the top, our hand, our ace jack actually was right in the bottom of value betting. And then we
Alright,
could see
when-
with the very top of our range, it's gonna be stuff like whatever this is, king.
Mhm.
This has stick betting. It has a overbet. And then we very nicely can see this visualization of our bluffs down here, which also mix in both these sizes. Because these hands have no equity and no chance of winning at showdown. The solver has decided. And then
So
we have
click
this middle region, which is green, which is check, where we think we're gonna win half the time, but we don't have a hand good enough to bet.
Right, so that's gonna be, so that area there is gonna be like a 10, some kind of 10 is gonna be.
King,
there.
queen, our hand is in here.
Right.
Yep.
Ace three, not good enough to value
Yeah.
bet, stuff like that.
Now,
Okay.
what are those bluffs at the bottom? Let's see what we get here.
Sure.
With it has a giant in it, just let us know.
So we've got bluffs with like, probably there's gonna be some blockers here to the flush. Queen ten is, it turns into a bluff. That's not a good example. Jack ten. These are all hands that have no equities turning into bluffs. Under
Right.
pair. At least that one has a blocker to the flush. Sevens blocker to the flush. Here we've got some interesting bets with 7-7 again. So all these under pairs is turning into a bluff at the bottom.
Okay,
Okay.
Okay, so. Back to the trainer. Who's next? Is that Mike?
Tura is next.
Toro, how you doing?
We're going straight down that, we're going down the
Hi,
pure-
guys.
Right. Where's that one?
Okay. Hey, man, here you go. So just so you know, we're playing out of position in SRP. And you've got this flop against button.
I'm gonna check.
Yeah, we're gonna check a lot here. Check, check. You've turned a bit of equity.
Um, I think an 8 improves him more than me, so I'm gonna check again.
So you can begin to bet, but you're right, we mostly just, your answer is correct. We're just gonna continue to check here. He gives you a B75.
I'm gonna fold my hand.
Well played, sir.
Boo.
Defensive out of position play. Which is the name of the game. Who's next?
After Tura is skate.
Dr. Die. What's your relationship with the poker gods today?
Today, well, I've been praying for a few minutes.
Good, good.
Um,
In
so
preparation for our session today, that's excellent.
yeah, so hopefully, yeah, they will give me a perfect score again in the trainer.
You ready? Here we go.
Yes, I'm up. Yes.
Okay, so you're on UTG versus button. With
right.
some backdoor action, and that's about it.
Okay. Well, board is just a little better. It's better for the button. Definitely. We have all the over pairs. We do have a spade, so I think that as opposed to a board like 17, yeah, it's still kind of connected, but is it connected enough that we don't get to bet? I'm not sure. I feel like intuitively I'm still gonna, yeah, out of position we're gonna do a lot of checking, so let's go with the check. But do we get bets with the spade? Nope.
Yeah, not betting on this texture.
Yeah, I see that a lot, like on the flop. Maybe like on the turn, if we improve, right, we could start betting. Let's see.
Sure. He's not gonna give you a chance, so he's gonna bet.
All right, so he bets. I think we have 2 overs. We have a spade. I think we get to call this size.
Good call, sir. What a turn. What would you do?
Okay. Should we do? I think since we do have a spade, I think we can bet. I think it's gonna check mostly. Well, actually, I'm not sure about that. I think it's a mix between checking and betting.
I think it's gonna check. It's gonna check.
Yeah,
It's, oh,
check mostly.
it's gonna mix. Yeah, this card is so good for you that you get to mix it up a little bit.
Mm-hmm.
Checks. Now what would you like to do?
Now we're gonna go for some value. Let's go. I don't know. Let's go. I guess the prepared board. Let's get value from like a 9-ish thing. Let's go like I don't know. BC. Yeah, I was going. Yeah, that was my thoughts too. Just gonna say that B60, the second one.
Team 60. And the answer is, what did it think of B60?
See,
It liked it.
Okay,
It liked it. It preferred check,
alright.
but B60 is fine.
preferred
Mike.
check, huh?
Mm. Just in frequency, preferred is kind of a,
Yeah, it checks more often. The EV is. The EV's higher, but similar.
Okay, yeah, probably because the
You know,
flush.
yeah, I
competing.
wanted to see if we can do some bluff maybe. Okay, who's next?
Next is Mike is next.
all right.
Yeah, that's one where we block the river with the intent to call as opposed to block the river with the intent to fold.
Yeah,
Okay. This almost feels like we do, although we get to check a lot, this could be a hand we want to actually bet at a higher frequency. I'm gonna take the check line, however, because I think it can never be wrong.
yeah, agreed.
Ah. Since
You'd
we've
be
taken
fourth
that
nuts.
check line. When he checks behind, and I think we get to actually, God, I never know if we like to check a lot here or if now we just want to bet, and what size is the question. I mean, if it were me in game, I would definitely be betting, but I'm thinking the solver likes to check again. But I'm gonna go bet. I'm gonna go B50.
Yeah, so this is pretty common. It gives us a myriad of options when we have so much equity. So we got what we wanted, except for the river. We don't love the river, but that's okay.
Yeah, I don't think I'm not certainly against population. I wouldn't be worried about the board pairing at this point. Nor would I really be worried about being like, I just feel like I'm just always winning here. Versus a solver, I suppose they can check back better flushes, or I just flat cold call better flushes. So we're gonna be betting for value, and the size I'm gonna take is a B77. No, I wanted to go over bet.
Greed. Greed against an ace.
Greedy against an ace.
I almost wonder if we'd overbet if he folds that ace.
Good question. I'm not sure.
I like it, Larry. I like it. I like what you're doing.
Alright. You're up, Larry.
Okay, we're gonna check this out of position. We've got a marginal hand. I mean, we're gonna turn it into a bluff at some frequency. I don't know. I think we just check here. Yeah, we're gonna lose to eights a lot, but he bets. This is kind of tricky. I think we call this size with an over. Maybe not. I mean, what's the call? Yeah, we call.
Good
Close.
call.
We check again. And we lose to eights. We win. He chooses not to
win.
bluff. Wow.
Nice one.
Why, can we, you guys mind if I look at this a second? Cause I'm surprised he doesn't bluff a hand like this that has no value.
Maybe
He
because
probably
he doesn't
doesn't
have a
bluff a
spade.
hand like this because the spades came in. That's such a large part of our calling range, maybe.
Yeah, he
I'm gonna
bluffed.
guess I have.
I bet he bluffs that hand with a single spade.
Maybe we'll just look at that and then we'll move on with life. Cut off check here. He never gets it with king jack.
No.
He does have bluffs, but king jack does, he just. Yeah, he just
No,
rolled.
no,
He
he
just
bluffs
rolled
it.
a check.
Yeah.
You can do either. Okay, who's next?
It's me.
Good luck.
Thank you.
Alright,
Alright, we're gonna check.
checking range on this texture.
Yep, and we are gonna fold.
Folding on this bet size.
Mm.
Who's next?
We hit showdown.
Excuse you, Enrico.
Okay,
Questi match.
up next is Paul.
Let's
Sì,
get
ma
it.
anche, Coppa Vincente, verità.
Okay.
Niente, anche
Paul, you're
Tristan-
next, sir. Do you wanna take this one?
Ma neanche che vada.
Yep, let's do it.
Alright,
Give me a hard one. Alright,
okay, here you go.
check.
Well, so this is common, right? So,
That hard. Alright,
so this is a disconnected king high board. So if we looked at this in an aggregate report, we would see that we're checking, I think it's 70% of the time in this configuration of cutoff versus button, if I
Mhm.
recall. But this texture is gonna allow for a lot of betting because it's dry, king high, and that's really good for us.
Okay, and looking at the side, oh. Is there, okay, sweet, so betting, okay, it looked like it preferred the 3/4, so the 75%.
It likes an overbet.
Likes an overbet, okay,
Wow,
so.
likes an overbet in this.
dry, Uncoordinated king high boards, alright.
Yeah, dry uncoordinated king high boards. So,
Is this relative to the cutoff or just in general from the other positions?
it's all very different, of course,
Right,
but, the 70% number is specific to, cutoff versus button SRP.
okay, sweet, cool, alright, that's good. Shoot, I asked for a hard one, that's nice. Okay, so we do the oversized bet.
Yeah, so we do an oversized bet, so we'll go through this. If we overbet, he's gonna fold a large part of his range, and so, yeah. I mean, it's all about, so this is, you know, YMMV, this is not necessarily, I think, the best choice against population. Because population does not have anything near where the buttons range is, but it gives us an idea of what the baseline is, I guess you could say.
For sure, yeah.
Alright, who's next?
Tura. And let me hit Tura to ask him to unmute. Oh, there he goes.
So, sorry, guys.
That's okay,
That's
no
all right.
problem.
Tori, you're UTG versus button.
I'm
You
gonna
have ace
check.
Jack over on a weird texture.
I'm gonna check this board a lot.
Yeah. Mostly checking, we're checking quite a bit. Okay, check, check. Great turn. What would you like to do?
Mm,
Abbiamo proiezione dalla vista.
I wanna bet 1/3.
Third, which is fine.
Nice.
Calls.
And now I wanna check call.
Ooh,
What's the blocker size?
Hmm.
Hey, man, yeah, what's the blocker size with ace jack?
right, skate.
Skate. Good luck. Skate. The poker god's praying worked. What would they could do?
Right. You know, I do want to bet, but generally out of position, we do a lot of checking. Do we do it on a yeah, let's check. I guess. Just do we get to bet? Yes, we do.
Still mostly checks though.
Alright, now
I'm
this
wondering-
is always an interesting spot poker, right? Because you've got. got second nuts and you are facing a small bet with an SPR of something somewhat ridiculous. What? It's a SPR of about 10. So you've got probably a bunch of options you can do. What would you like to do?
Okay. I think on the flop, it's going to just call.
Hold on.
Yes,
I
okay.
assume you want to check?
Yes.
All right, now we need to get value. What size would you like to use?
Yes, for sure. Let's go. Let's get greedy, right? Let's, if they were betting their singleton ace of spades, they got there. Let's go 134.
Get in.
Yes.
I think you nailed it.
Good bet, Skate.
Yeah.
TY.
Oh,
Wow.
oh my
Oh.
gosh, he had outs.
Why did he check the turn? Oh,
Cause
He's probably, well, let's go look. That's an excellent
True.
question. He's gonna have a threshold in which you can value bet. This might be against your range. It's not a good enough flush. So on turn when we check, the question is, what flushes does he check and what flushes does he bet? So let's just look at,
I'm guessing 10 high flush and better, 9 high flush and better, something like
I
that.
mean, I think one of the best things I've learned from Solver is to understand value thresholds. So here are his all his flushes that he has on turn. He has some X number. Let's go to breakdown and see what, so this is gonna be pretty linear. It's not entirely linear. But these worst flushes are the ones that he doesn't feel like he can bet. He feels like he can mix with the kings. This is where he's got 90% equity. This is, probably half trapping. But then once we get down to the queen high, jack 10, 10, 9. He doesn't feel like, even though he's got 80% equity, I think this is about reverse implied odds with the value of this flush.
Okay, so really it likes the ace, the king, and maybe the queen, maybe.
Well, yeah, if we look at range versus range, right? Let's look, so we're just looking at flushes. And we're looking at UTG, and then we're looking at him. Yeah, what do you guys think? Do you think, that's what I read here. I read that there's a value threshold around king where he can begin to sometimes value bet the kings. I assume he's gonna be, all his ace high flushes are pure value betting.
Yeah.
Right? With
But if
this
you wanna
smattering
apply-
this, the kings
you-
mix. But once we get to the queens and we're in position in this situation, it doesn't feel like we've got, it's very concerned about reverse implied odds.
Is it a function of balancing the range that he has?
I don't think so, because notice it's very kind of,
Because he can't, because if he bets every flush he has, then he never, when he bets, or when he
When he
checks, he
checks.
never has a flush.
yeah,
Right.
it's true, but he high freak bets ace high flushes.
Right, and then it's almost like split down the middle, like half of them he's betting his nuts, and then half of them he's checking.
Yeah, but if it was balanced, I think that we'd see more checks up here. He does have a little bit of balance, right? Like if we go to the strategy, like this ace 10 and ace jack. He is checking these at some frequency, like
Yeah.
12%. So that, he's protecting he's protecting the nuts. Well, it's not the nuts, it's a paired board, but he's protecting the flushes at some frequency here. But I really think this is with where the value threshold is.
Yeah.
I think this is about reverse implied odds.
Except that if you want to apply an emotion to the solver here, he's not scared with the 7-6 suited. He's not checking it because he's scared he's beat. He's using that as his check back to induce if you want to give a narrative to it, because there's no way he's folding it.
Well, let's find out. So, check, back, ace river. Here we are.
Yeah, let's bet big.
If we bet 134 on button. He's not folding any flushes.
Right. Bet
No, he's
301,
folding queen jack. King, queen jack for some reason.
that's freak.
But if we bet 2x pot, he still is not really
Yeah,
folding any flushes.
yeah, that weird queen jack, king jack,
Once we
thing.
get to like a ridiculous shove, he's
and
gonna
when you
fold
shove,
everything but the nuts.
yeah,
So, okay.
right. And then before you go to the next hand, I would say that this scenario is not realistic against population with the 6-7. They're betting it.
Okay. I think you're right.
They are not checking back the 6-7 flush on the turn.
I think that makes sense.
Yeah.
Alright, who's next?
That was skate, so we're on Mike.
All right. I did not pray to the poker gods, so this is the crap I get.
This is the price you're gonna pay.
Well, we're checking range.
The range here. small bet.
And I think we can just fold now.
Nothing going on.
All right, Larry's up.
Okay,
Hmm,
flatting, I know, I
sneaky
saw
little
that.
flat with ace king.
Did we check this a lot? I don't know if we even get check calls, but I think we checked this. Yeah, I check it. Against the size. We've got 2 of the 3. We don't have an overcard. We've got 2 back doors. Against this size, I don't think we get to call this.
Nope. We
Yeah,
have
we
overs,
do.
and that's not enough.
Yeah.
All right. Here we go.
Who's next?
It's me, and I am a poker god. I am a poker god theist. I am yeah, that's what it'd be. A poker god theist. So I didn't pray. Let's see what I get.
You get
Alright.
this.
I've been punished by the poker gods that do not exist with a difficult hand. I'm gonna check it.
Interesting, you're getting to bet this. Now, I would be interested in knowing how much we're betting our ace X without a spade. So I'm curious how much we're betting the ace high from this region. So it just feels like these are just good enough to bet. But then once it gets to ace 9, it's like no, except for ace 3, which has got some backdoor wheel properties. Maybe that has to do with it. I don't know. But yeah, okay. Check.
Check, check. And I'm going with showdown value. Check. I just fucked my showdown value, even though I can win sometimes. But now I split with all your other monkeys. I still check. And I win.
Who's
I
next?
poker. Thank the gods. Paul, you're up.
Let's get it. All right.
Good luck, Paul.
Thank you. Oh, nice. Check.
Paul, one question I would ask, not to influence your decisions, but I wonder if you have check raise opportunities here.
What was that? Can you repeat the question?
Yeah, I was curious. I was wondering if you could have an opportunity to check raise, but he didn't give you a chance.
Yeah, with that holding, yeah, I'd probably. Did you pause time bank? I'm sorry.
Yeah, I did, because I took some of your time back talking. Okay, so we're on turn, and you've got a king of hearts.
For sure. Yeah, we have a flush draw. King helps our range, so yeah, it's time to start betting. Considering the size, I don't mind if he folds. So, but 75% may be too much. We'll go half pot.
It
I
gets
knew
quite
it. Yeah,
aggressive
you gotta
here.
go bigger. Yeah.
And then Paul, here's the heuristic I think that cues us into that large size bet.
Yeah,
Hit pause for just a second.
Sure.
Which is, I could be wrong about this, but because I could be wrong about everything. I believe that when we see the double flush draw board, that pushes on the turn, that pushes our bet sizes up.
Yeah,
Okay.
that's a good point.
Over
That's a
value
heuristic we've
bluff.
seen. I didn't think about that.
Yeah.
All right, so we chose B50.
hmm
He called. We're gonna repeat 9. What would you like to do?
Unfortunately, I think it's time to shut it down. That 9 does not help at all. And yeah, let's just check, shut it down.
We have showdown value.
I didn't consider that. That's good.
We actually do.
Yeah, fold, give up.
What is he bluffing us with this size? He's bluffing us with busted.
Hand beat.
Got me.
Bastard.
Yeah.
Yeah, but hey, he potentially doesn't do that. If I bet bigger on the turn, maybe we don't have to deal with that. So that's good though. But you said, Scotty, what was that? When you get those two-tone boards on the turn?
Yeah, I think that I
favors
think the double two-tone board on the turn pushes your bet size up. So
Do
it
you
pushes
think it-
your,
Do you think it pushes the bet size up and the frequency, or do you think it's just
no, I think it's just the
the
size.
size?
I think it's just the size.
Because I feel like it was when we've seen this in the past that our frequency of betting goes up,
Could be.
but I could be getting it wrong.
Our frequency of betting might go up because we picked up back doors, that we have things to do. You know, because it improves our hand, maybe. I mean, it maybe not our hand, but it improves many of the hands in our range. Maybe that's why.
So you're thinking the specific king here is one that improves us, but the double flush board makes us want to bet larger.
The thing that I knew, or the thing that I believed, was that the double flush board made us bet larger. Then you said, I think it increases our frequency also. And my guess was, if that's the case, it's because all of our flush draws can bet and all of our backdoor flush draws can bet. Therefore, more of our hands can bet on a double flush board than if that was the king of clubs. It just, more of our range has an interest in betting now.
Okay.
But I don't know that it's true. I don't know that that's the reason. I don't know if it's because it's a king, because I don't know that the frequency goes up. That was you who said that. So I
Yeah.
was,
I
Just
think
backing
even if it was a king of clubs, we would still prefer to overbet.
okay, let's find out. Let's test that. That's a good hypothesis.
What is this? What are we gonna test?
We're gonna look at this board. We're gonna look at the global frequency of betting and bet sizes on this board with the king of hearts versus the king of clubs coming.
All right, so on turn.
Yeah.
Right. So
Get
we
the
are
king.
betting. So right now, let's see what our,
All right, we see the frequencies, right?
yep, I just copied it.
Okay, so it looks like the check frequency stayed roughly the same. However, some of our small bets moved up into the larger bets.
So the single flush, so we bet larger more often with this. Let me look at that. Let me bring up that number. So that violates what I thought the answer was. All right, why am I not? Oh. Escape. I didn't, no, I tried to save that frequency. It didn't save it. Is that true? Let me see if it didn't. Nope, I got it. Here we go. All right. So the old one was zoom and put this in front of it. Okay, now I can see the two frequencies. So the previous frequencies were, the big bet was 4.7. Oh, the 250. So we have giant bets that we didn't have before. We didn't have any 250 and now we do. The 175 was 4.7%. The 125 So yeah, so I was wrong. It's it went the opposite way.
Hmm.
That we put, that the rainbow turn, the non-flush completing turn, the non-suit interesting turn pushed up, gave us lots of 175s and a little bit of 250s. And the other one was lots of 125s and a little 175. And in both cases, we bet big on the king. With the ace check back. All right,
All right,
so
who's
my
next?
heuristic was wrong.
Who's our next victim?
After Paul is Tura.
Sure, you're hijack versus button.
I'm gonna check my hand.
It's an interesting one to have. Look, so this is interesting. Look,
Range bet.
it's a range bet.
It's that king high board thing.
King high board. Um. Rainbow, I think also. So let's just test this. King high board, rainbow, I think does it. It's just the range versus range real quick. You can see we're the out of position player. We're yellow, we're hijack. So we've got this really big range advantage at the top of the range. Arguably a nut advantage.
Yep.
Well, we actually have an extreme nut advantage. And we can see the best hands are, we just have a lot more kings.
Yeah. So
Cool.
I would say the thing that we've found now is the king, the king low and the king queen. Basically, kings and queens are so much better for our range than his range.
Yeah, we should be betting a lot of queens out of position, king X boards out of position. In
Yeah.
theory, let's change this to two-tone. Let's see if it changes at all. A little bit, but not much. So it's
Yeah.
really about this king queen.
Yeah.
Yeah,
And
king high boards.
I would say that this is over specified against our opponents. That this, that if we take this lesson, this seriously, where we go, we check all the ace high, we check almost all the boards except the king and the queen high boards, in which case we bet range. I think we will be doing an exploit against the solver that is not as good against our opponents.
Yeah, and I think something in particular here is the fact that it's king queen,
Mhm.
because we have all 16 combos of king queen. They are folding most of their king queen off and raising
Right.
only their suited.
Right.
So that
Yeah.
gives us kings, queens, and king queen in terms of a nut advantage. I
Yep.
wonder if it's specific to this king queen type combo.
Take a look at king jack. I think we're gonna have king jack too.
Yeah, so yeah, it's similar kind of.
Yeah.
Yeah, same.
Similar. It just feels it a little less.
Yeah, those two Broadway boards. I mean, that they seem to do it a lot. I think the ace is going to be a lot more checking.
Yep.
Because he's got aces that he defends a lot. We become very polarized, but we still have a lot of checking.
Yeah.
All right.
Mm.
So, we're not breaking
Jack
anything, so we're gonna check.
Yeah.
Check, he checks back, Tura.
Okay, we're gonna delay c-bet now. Small.
Okay. Good
Nice
choice.
bet.
He calls.
And now I wanna block bet. And if he raises, I wanna re-raise.
He won't allow us to block bet. We have to check, unfortunately. But now you get to decide if you want a hero. Got 5 seconds. Beep, beep.
Okay, let's go.
Yeah, we're mixing. What's the calling now?
Let's see. Oh, I'm kicked.
Bastard. Who's next?
I like the hero because we have the jack to block the ace jack. And
Yeah,
we we unblock the hearts that called us.
Skate
that's
is
a good
next.
point too.
So I like it. All right, after Turtle is skate.
Yay,
Good hand,
you're an
please.
ETG.
Not bad.
Okay. Yeah, let's default check this board. This mhm.
What was your,
Dun, dun. To the size, we're going to let's call. Got some
we
backdoor.
get some
we're gonna
check
call.
raises. Who thinks we get check raises here?
I think we
I
get some check
knew it
raise.
was coming, Larry.
Oh, check raise. Well, with the ace with
We got,
yeah, it's a
and he
good point.
bets this high freak.
Yep.
This texture. But I could be wrong. Just give it up. Don't
What?
even think
What?
about it. We do have it. We just must have it with
Give up.
spades.
What?
The back door's not good enough, but the spades are. The front door's gonna be good enough.
I thought a backdoor may be good enough with no.
Hmm.
Yeah, we don't get to do it with the back door. I thought we would. But all these front doors are getting in there.
Yeah,
Okay.
and front doors are getting in there with a lot of check raises. Okay.
Yeah, maybe we need to have just a little bit more invested in the pot in order to do so.
Yeah, yeah, thinks we need more equity.
Ah,
But it is a very high frequency check raise board. We can see here,
Yeah.
just for anybody new. We can always look at our global frequencies over here. That 17% is pretty high check raise frequency. Okay, we had to fold. Who's next?
Mike is next.
Mike, you are next. Let's get your hand. He bluffed you with the best hand. Okay.
Okay. King high. Boy, this one probably gets the bet at a higher frequency than normal, and our hand is kind of shit, so let's bet it. B33.
Yeah, we're betting it, definitely.
Still checking though that king high with king low low. I know likes to check a lot more often than like the other kings. All right. We bet he called, right?
Yeah.
Mhm.
Let's check.
Ooh, there's more betting than I expected.
Let's
Oh,
go.
Ooh, okay, bittersweet kind of thing here.
yeah.
Sheesh. He's got king jack, king tens. I think we need to check. No, god dang it,
Blocker.
block. Of course, block. I didn't even think block.
Right.
Yeah, it's easy to
Sorry.
forget it sometimes. You can see where this would be. Let's just reinforce blocking here, just to have a lesson amongst us 6 guys. We used to have some girls that would come on
Mel.
occasion.
Yeah, we sometimes get Mel.
But let's look. So let's reinforce blocking here. So there's a lot of blocking on this texture after this betting line. So we get flop, we bet small, they call, we check, we check. So what do we know now when we see a check on turn? Regardless of texture, we know that everybody's a bit capped here. So we're probably going to be using this blocking size with a lot of our range. If we look at it, let's look at it by breakdown. Yeah, so we're doing our primary size, clearly 42% is the blocker, including the very top of range. Like these are straights here, and these are the exception. Straights are special because they unblock all the other value. But we're definitely using them. And then we have some flushes that are using a lot of blocker to protect our blocking size with the nuts. But yeah, this is just really the kind of betting line where we're going to see a lot of block sizing.
Mhm.
Bet small, we call. We decided to check that turn, they check back, so we're gonna have block all through.
And
Now our,
the block bluffs don't have to have a spade, it looks like. Go down.
yeah,
to the
we'll look
block
at that,
bluffs.
yeah, that's a good question. So I'm now curious where our hand falls, so we had Jack ten suited.
Yeah.
And we can see, yeah, it's right, it feels we have a lot of equity with Jack ten suited, right?
Yeah,
Yeah, it's up here. And I think this is really very much a function of what the betting action was on turn. So it's gonna feel comfortable using this size. I would imagine we're betting pure here. But I would imagine everything up here that's also doing it is checking with a lot of calling in this region of 80%.
Yeah.
And so these are our bluffs with nothing where we're using it.
and they don't have a spade.
And they don't have a
would call.
spade.
Yeah, that surprises me.
Interesting. Okay, anything else you guys want to see here?
Better cards.
Yeah,
Yeah, I do want to see something.
okay, sure. What would you want to look at?
When we block and get raised, what are we folding?
Okay, good question. So let's pick the most common. So we block here at 2.5. Their most common raise size is to 22.
Mm-hmm.
Now, where is our,
It's our value
so-
threshold to call.
yeah, what's our value? What's our threshold? So very simply, we can look at flushes, we shove all of them, including the queen high. Straights, we just call. Sets, we call down, the king, which you only have kings really. And two pair seems to be where the threshold is. No, that's not true.
But queen is the strange one.
Yeah, so
Queen blocks a straight.
aces we call.
Do we need a queen of spades to call? Is that what the queen is?
Where do you see the queen? Here, queens?
Queens.
Yeah, we need
You,
a spade to call.
you prefer a spade, you don't need a spade.
Yeah. Yeah, let's look at it a different way.
Yeah.
Yeah, so we're very confused here. Well, so the first thing is that it's just gonna correlate to pot odds, right? This is a good lesson in pot odds. Pot odds we're being offered are 36%. So when you look at that's where we begin to become. In these high 30s, it's where we're indifferent. King Jack, two pair mixing, queens mixing. But once we get up to what we perceive as we perceive this as 38% equity with the set of queens. I'm sorry, set of kings. We're pure calling.
Yeah.
And then these are some bluffs that we had. But yeah, it's a good lesson in pot odds too.
Right.
It's right around here is where our pot odds are at 35%.
Right, so I wanna look at two things there. The two ones that are worth calling, in the same, that same city graph. You'll see a couple of ones where we call and jam. And I just wanna see what that hand is.
And he's king with the blocker.
King, right. Ace king with a blocker, king 10 for two pair, and I bet we need the 10 of spades to do it. Yeah,
He's king with the blocker.
there's where you need a spade to have a
Yeah, when
party.
you need a spade, it's like this weird semi bluff kind of thing.
Yeah. And then down there, and finding those seems reasonable. And then the real bluffs at the bottom,
Ace blocker, ace spades blocker.
ace of spades blocker. Okay, and that seems, do you want to find those in game?
No, I don't think you do. I think that for this to be, I don't think so. I'm open to disagreement. I always love a good disagreement. Let's look at what his raise, so we're looking at raise 22, right? So let's look at that
Yeah.
range. Then look at
His bluffs.
ace high. So he's doing it with ace high here. And, okay, let's look at it this way. He has trash hands he's doing it with, which are ace four and ace three, and he has weak hands. So those are his bluffs to this raise, right? So we
Right,
blocker and he raises in position. These are the bluffs, nines,
no one's doing that.
queens, and no one is doing that. So that thinks I don't think we need to find a check raise shove to
Yeah.
his raise with the ace of spades blocker.
I think
Yeah,
so.
but, and it's also about what will he fold? What, like, those are ones he'd fold. He wouldn't do it, number one, but where is he gonna fold? Like, is he gonna ever fold a two pair or
Maybe
a
two
set?
pair.
Yeah, so jam on him. Let's jam on him. And then look at his range following our jam. Cause our bluff is a jam, right? We don't bluff to
So
46.
he's supposed to fold a set and two pair and
Yeah.
even straights, but is population gonna do it?
No,
Population's not gonna do it. Population might fold a set, but
Yeah,
it's
good
not gonna
player.
fold straight.
Yeah, I think if you've got him pegged as a really good player, maybe, but certainly like your average person probably doesn't, right?
So yeah, I'll give you an example. I was playing last night. I was playing 2 nights ago. One of the alcoholic DJ owners of this club I go to was to my immediate right. He limped. I ISO'd to like $10 or whatever. It was heads up. I flop a set. And he donks into me for, I don't know, $10 or $15. I, of course, feign and Hollywood and call. Same thing on turn. He donked into me for $30. I call. We get to the river, and this is where it gets weird. I bet $100 with my set. And he goes, oh, I shouldn't do this. I shouldn't do this. And then he calls with ace king. He calls with ace high.
Mhm.
So I'm telling you that example as, some people just can't fold. They just don't know how to fold. They just don't have the fold button.
Yeah.
And so I think we really need to take into consideration when we try to apply how our bluffs are going to work against a human.
Okay.
Should we move on?
Yep. And whose was
Okay.
that? Was that,
That was me. That was Mike.
that was Mike's? Okay.
Oh,
so
okay, let's do the blocker just for the sake of doing the blocker, see what happens. So what do you want to do, Mike?
Well, we actually fold Jack 10.
Oh, I thought,
Oh,
yeah,
wait, I thought we did.
I think
Nope,
it's
we
different
call.
sizing. It's
Oh,
a
is
different
that not,
sizing.
that's not the
Yeah.
B 125? That's more like a B 75.
But good fold anyway. Let's be results oriented. He had the nuts. No, let's just do another straight. Never mind. Do another nuts. Who's next?
After Mike is you, Larry.
Okay. Okay, so our hand sucks. And the flop sucks. So I think 2 sucks worth a check. Checking range. We are going to fold. Who is next?
Me.
Good luck, Scotty. Nice answer.
Yeah.
All right, this is
We
more interesting.
going
You've got
to
marginal
check-
value against button.
Yep, we're gonna check range this board. And we're gonna call a bet, and he doesn't bet. We are going to check this and not look forward to a 9 coming.
Ah,
And we are going to check this and have showdown value.
nice.
I mean, we have showdown value as in we get to split it, but
He decided he had showdown value too.
yeah. So that's that.
Okay,
Ugh.
who's next?
Next is Paul.
Do it.
All right, Paul, what would you like to do here?
Check.
Beat 4, what would you like to do?
Yeah, I don't enjoy that. Yeah, let's go ahead and check again.
You bet small?
I don't like it 2 overs and then get there with the 2. Go and call. We'll peel 1.
Yep.
Check.
Would you like to hear us, sir?
Fold. Let's not get cute. I'm okay folding. Ooh, alright.
Notice he likes a 10 more. This is interesting. When you look at. Likes a 10, the 10 must have some blocker properties. So, okay, so but voting's fine. 'Cause
Real
he's
quick,
nines.
could we look at those flop sizes real quick? Cause I saw it like it looked like it potentially like the chunky bet on that flop, right?
You hero out of position or in position player?
I'm out of position.
Yeah, which did you want to look at?
Out of position, whatever ours was, yeah, cut off.
I think you're checking, yeah, it does like, so,
Do any of y'all have any insights to why it likes that bet?
sometimes it likes to be a very polarized strat. Here, when. So you have a range disadvantage, right?
Yes.
But you also have a nut advantage. So when you have a nut advantage and a range disadvantage, sometimes it uses a very polarized strat.
Okay.
Because you have, so the best hands. So you've got the overpairs, and then I think the bottom line is, I think really this comes down to the fact that you've got ace 2 suited and he doesn't.
Mhm.
So you're the only one that can have a straight in Solverland. We all know that in reality this isn't the case. But in theory, in Solverland, you're the only one with the nuts. And because you're the only one with the nuts,
He can
oftentimes
have
you'll end
six,
up with
seven,
a-
or
Say it again?
he can have 6, 7 suited or not.
Yeah, I guess 6-7 is the nuts. You're right, Torah.
Sorry?
So yeah, he does. He has a lot less 6-7. We can do it this way. We can look at hands, straights. So you've got straights. You've got 4.6 combos of straights, and he essentially doesn't. He's got 0.1. So
Fine.
you've got this significant nut advantage here. And when you have the nut advantage, that means that you're gonna have sometimes this polarized strat, which we see here.
Okay.
So it's just pushing, it's pushing the nut advantage.
Pushing the nut advantage. Okay. Got it.
Yeah. All right, who's next?
That was Paul Sotura.
All right, Turo, what'd you like to do?
I'm gonna check.
Check, check.
Now, I think we can bet this hand, and I would go B75.
So I think
We still check.
you're close. It wants to bet. Let's look at ace high. It does want to bet some ace high. But just, you're a couple, you're just a couple clicks away,
Yeah,
ticks away. So it doesn't, you're really close, but
I thought that like when the straight gets in, that we still have the bluffs, so
yeah,
that's why I chose that hand.
yeah, he's trying to construct a bluff. That makes sense. Likes to check back now. What would you like to do?
Check.
Yeah, I think we just try to realize our equity with ace high. I assume you're gonna fold. Or reject a hero.
Yes, I would like to call.
Let's hero.
Oh,
Call, I don't wanna call. Need a spade, need a spade.
Who's next?
After Tura, it is Skate.
Skate, good luck. Skate, quite an interesting flop you have here. What would you like to do?
Yeah, got a spade, got some backdoor action. We are out of position. I think it's gonna. Yeah, on this board, yeah, there's nothing going on. Let's check. I don't think we have many. Yeah,
All right, he bets. What would you like to do?
yeah. I mean, I actually don't. I'm not sure. I imagine it's mixing. No, actually, I think it's probably just gonna be mostly. Well, we have a spade, right? But not a very good spade, and that's a problem. I think we're gonna fold either way. I think. I'm
Yeah,
not
I
sure.
don't know if this is good. I think we might have check raises here against the size. I think we're gonna have check raises. It's probably, this feels like a fold check raise hand.
Think so? Because oh
Yeah.
yeah. Oh,
It's just, it has backdoor equity. And, he used a small size. So we know that our check raises are higher freak. We have a very high check raise on this texture against this small size. So let's say he used, let's see how often he uses, like, for instance. So so we're using 17%, if he bets 50%. Pretty much do the same thing, actually. So yeah, so this here at 50% with the backdoor hearts, we're mixing, right?
check out the
He makes a
offsuit,
smaller bet.
because we had
Then we're,
offsuit,
oh, you had offsuit?
yeah.
Yeah.
With the jack of spades.
Oh,
and
sorry.
heart. Probably the best offsuit combo, right? Yep.
Yeah, it's true.
Second best, jack of hearts, 10 of spades is the best.
Yeah. Yeah, you want to check raise here.
yeah. I
Hold
guess
on.
that's. Yeah, I see. I see now. That's probably. Well, it is probably one of my leaks that I'm not check raising enough with
Well, let's practice,
certain
right?
kind of
So
hands.
we'll
Yeah.
practice it and we'll take a check raise here.
Okay, let's do it.
So obviously what we really want is to generate folds. Let's see if we get it. Generating folds with Jack high is quite satisfying. Okay, so we now
Yeah.
you have turned equity.
Yeah, we picked it up. So I guess that means that if I were to do that line, I would continue betting here, trying
Yes.
to maybe get hopefully get a ninth fold at a
Yes,
turn. I think
So
we need to
usually you're gonna
go.
choose a polarizing size now, right? Because what you're
Yeah,
saying to him right now is you have aces, kings, or nines.
yeah, either that
So
or that. Yeah, either or.
so it's either B75 or B125. What would you like to do?
Mm-hmm. All right, let's get spicy. Let's go 125. 125.
Okay, it might just be, I might be steering you wrong. It might be just,
75.
yeah,
Yeah, 75.
B75.
Yeah.
But we're not
Well,
breaking it, so we'll continue.
fold.
fold.
Oh,
there.
bastard.
Why didn't
Okay,
we?
now this is where it gets tough, right? Choosing the check raise line is tough. So you have no showdown. Let's talk about what he'll fold. So you've got an SPR of like 0.6, like 0.8 or something.
Yeah.
And you have Jack high. So you have two choices. You can give up or you could shove. Now, we used a highly polarizing line on turn, right? Because we used a B125. So I think, I think either is fine. either shove or you check here.
Yeah, I'm gonna shove, especially with that flush draw front door missing on the river.
Yeah,
Yeah,
Okay.
no option.
yeah, it wants to
Nope.
give up. It wants to give up after we took a very large size.
So let's
on,
take a look though and see if we didn't have a spade and we unblocked
Oh,
that.
that's that bastard.
Yeah, if we unblock the front door, do we, can we bet? Can we bluff this? And we might not be able to get here with Jack 10 off without a spade. We might need the spade to get here, but let's just look.
Okay, now, I'm sorry, I didn't quite understand the question.
So on the river, when he, on the river, I wanna see our Jack 10 off, Jack 10 off suit here and see if we bluff the one without a spade.
No, we want a spade to
We
bluff.
we need a
for some
spade to
reason.
get here, but we bluff the one with a diamond. There's a weird heart thing. So your instinct to bluff the Jack 10 is good. There's just this weird thing that says don't have a heart when you do it.
No.
So let's look at, so we're, our sets. Oops, our two pair.
Yeah,
Our
you're right. I
sets
mean,
Are shoving for value. Our two pair for value. Over pairs mix. But let's look at trash hands that are bluffing. So our trash hands that are clear. Trash hands and our weak hands that are bluffing using this size all in. Are like the king jack that missed. Highest frequency is the ace five, blocking sets.
Hmm.
Set of fives, I think, is why.
Being shitty.
King three that missed.
Yep.
King jack that, whatever reason. King jack that turned equity, but then missed. So you can kind of see this are our bluffs. Alright, who's next?
After skate is Mike.
Right, let's, do we ever get over bets on here? Probably not. Let's check.
Alright,
And the king 10, we're just gonna fold.
Alright, Larry.
okay. This is UTG versus, so this texture, I think we bet a lot. And I wonder how it affects it that we actually have a marginal amount of showdown. I'm gonna say we continue to bet because we have to protect our, yeah, betting. Like a bigger size, this works. Call. Kinda wanna check here. I don't feel like this hand is good enough to value bet. Is it, yeah, we can mix.
And I bet when you bet here, you don't bet the river, and when you check here, you do bet the river.
Alright, so I wanna be 60 here because I wanna get value from like eights and nines, 7x. I'd like to go bigger. I'm not greedy
More greedy.
enough.
Yep.
That is actually
And what
something I
was
need
it,
to work on.
125?
Folds. Say it again.
And the greed was 125 was what it wanted you to go?
We
Or
wanted to go
175?
125, yeah.
Okay.
Who's next?
I am next, and I would like to say, so many of you, obviously, I'm an amateur poker player. You might not all know that I'm a professional comedy writer. And I want to say in the chat, I am
Wait.
very, very proud of the joke that I wrote.
It
Alright,
was
actually, I'm gonna read the
fantastic,
joke
but are
now.
you serious about that you're a professional comedy writer?
Yeah. I mean, I work as a comedian and a juggler and a presenter, but but we write custom script. We don't do our act very often. We write commercials. We write funny commercials to be performed live.
That's
So
awesome.
So I'm a comedy writer. And when you
That-
said that, I went, I've got to be able to write a Karnak joke for the situation. So I was
It
so
was-
happy.
Yeah, that was really good. I'm surprised, like the fact that you did come up with that so quickly like that. It's amazing.
And those if anybody's watching on YouTube, the reason you can't see the joke is because it's in the chat. You'd be able to see it if you attended any of these sessions, and you're all invited. Then you'd be able to see my fabulous joke in the chat. All right, moving
I
on.
looked and it really is fabulous. I want everyone to know.
All right,
Alright, who's next?
it's me
Alright, good luck.
after bragging.
There's probably people that can see the chat that still have no idea who the hell the
No, 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 you
Master
have to be,
Magnificent is.
you have to be our age for that.
Isn't that it's, that's,
Pause it, pause it. I'm gonna check.
it's, Johnny Carson, right?
Oh, yes, it's Johnny Carson.
Okay. Pause it, I'm gonna check, okay,
All right, I'm
Yeah.
checking.
check.
Oh, Jack high, interesting. I've got him. All right, this is a mostly bet, but that's fine.
Check.
Yeah, I checked. I'm gonna continue. I'm gonna go with my check line. All right. This ace is both very bad and very good. But I'm going to go for the bet and I'm gonna bet, I'm gonna bet 50 on this. I'm happy with that. And he calls. And both bricked out. I have the problem of technically I have showdown value, although not really. I mean, it is the best non-nut hand. And so I'm going to check it. Come on, check win, check win. Check win against King 10. No, check lose. All right.
Who's next?
After me is Paul.
Paul, you ready, sir?
You're
Good luck to Paul.
Oh, that's a
Paul's got
hard
the
one.
first premium we've seen today, but unfortunately, ace high board.
check.
And, checking is fine.
Alrighty. I think it's time to do a little bit of a bet here. Let's go half pot.
Yeah, we just want to check this hand class down. If we look at this hand class, which are under pairs. Yeah, we're just checking this.
Okay.
But
However, I think his instinct versus population, I think betting is okay because you know they're not protecting their aces on the flop like that.
Yep.
yeah,
Yeah.
I think that's fair.
I appreciate
And
that.
you get called by a jack.
So we check. Repeat jack. What would you like to do?
I would like to check.
Yay.
Yeah, got a lot easier on the river.
And he's got sixes,
Yeah.
fives.
Ooh,
Um,
Larry.
Sorry, say it again.
I said pretty darn close.
Yeah, I actually heard what you said. Anytime you give me a compliment, I always hear what you say. I just like to hear it repeated. I'm just kidding. I actually did hear it. All right, who's next?
Tura's up.
All right, Tara, good luck. You are UTG versus button on this texture.
I wanna check.
Check. Bet.
Um, I'm gonna call. I was considering check raising. And it does it a lot, obviously.
Double paired board. I assume you check.
Uh, let's check, yeah.
Oh, wants to begin to put in value bets. Interesting. Okay, check.
No, I'm checking to show down.
All right. Who's next?
Okay, that was Tura. So it's skate.
Dr. Dye, are you prepared to have a lesson in the trainer?
I think I am. Let's do it.
What are the poker gods moods right now?
Right now, I don't know.
Well, there's only one way to find out. Let's give you a hand. There you
Yeah.
go. They're kind of marginal, just like your hand. And you're playing hijack versus button. What would you like to do on this texture?
Okay, I think this is gonna be a range bet board. I think so. Let's be 33 or 50.
Yep.
33.
Who's been paying attention? Not me, but you have. Look at that. Look at all that orange. Well done, sir.
Fold.
Folds air. Okay, who's next?
And after skate is Mike.
Bring it.
Mike, you've got quite an interesting
Oh,
board
there
here.
you
Yeah,
go.
this is very interesting, isn't it? I know it likes to kind of bet the monotone boards like kind of frequently, but this is ace king high monotone board. I'm gonna take the bet line B33.
Nailed it, dude.
Some large bets, which I didn't think it would have.
Yeah, I didn't. This is a very interesting, unique situation. Yeah, usually we just always default to small bet, but it's got it's got some big bets here.
Yeah.
I'm also
still
curious
mostly
if you ever
small
bet
bets.
anything that's not, you don't care if. I was wondering if you bet without the queen of spades, but you do. We just don't care.
Mm.
This is a shocking solve presented to us.
Yeah.
Okay, so uh, you
I said B33.
E33. Okay. Thanks. Okay, he calls.
Ooh, the Nutter Butters.
You got to know about us.
Now, when it completes like this, I think we need to be polar, but it's almost like betting small is polar or checking. Shoot, I don't know what to do. I'm gonna take a bet. No, I'm gonna check line. Take the check line here, a trap line, which it likes. Yeah. Now, do we have to check raise when he goes B33? Yeah, we gotta. I think we gotta raise.
Yeah.
Just raise small. So B50, raise 50 here. No, just
Wants to
call.
really go
God,
for
I
it, but we're
just-
not breaking it.
I
Because
mean,
he has flushes. He has flushes. Max value from his flushes.
Yeah.
He's folding all his non-flushes, so.
I'll change it just so we can
thought.
do what is more interesting here.
I was gonna say I probably would have checked before raising large.
Yeah.
Yeah.
All right, so you take the big size. You get the
Oh,
dream
if
call
we-
and you get the
If
dream
we
run
take the
out.
big size, we just jam now.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm
Jam.
curious what we do. Oh, what? Why would we take a slightly smaller bet? He folds the
Well,
third.
the only answer is that he folds the third nuts. He folds the second nuts when you have the nuts.
I
and
would
that's
like
why.
to go back to the turn and choose the check line, which would have been
Sure.
which was going to be one of my choices. It was either bet small or check.
Here?
Yeah. Wait, was that?
Yeah, turn.
Yep. So I was gonna I didn't want to do the big raise here. So it
We
was
largely trap, in theory, with the nuts.
Oh, and then he didn't have a jacks this time, or he checked his jack like a,
He checked.
well, but yeah, it didn't matter because I was. Oh, right, because that was the node I wanted where we checked and then he bet. And then the raise was the node.
we can do that on the study. We can just.
Yeah,
study
just
the spot.
just check it out in the study portion of it.
All right, let's bet here and see if he raises us with his jack.
I think you can bet. I think you'll be able to bet tons of different sizings here.
Yeah, probably wants.
Oh, look at that pure fucking, it just wants to check. So I think that, now this is kind of, I think we got 25.
At least, yeah.
Let's shove it.
Shove it and get called by the jack here. Nope, he didn't have the jack that time. He had a 6.
All right, what do we want to look at?
We
I
wanted
don't
to
know,
look
this
at.
whole hand is just a big mess.
A big
we wanted to
mess.
look
My
profit.
specific thing that I wanted to look at was when we checked the turn, he bet. He bet B33 with his jacks, with a spade, whatever. So he bet B33.
You best be 33 here.
Yeah, and then the choice I had, I chose to raise the small size. It didn't like the small size. It only liked the large size or call. And I
Yeah.
was torn between the call. I thought we could call here, but then I was like, but then we get to the river and we're gonna have to check again.
But let's do the one you did. So do your call
So-
there.
Yeah,
then
okay, yeah.
what he
So
does
that's
with
what I
his
wanted to
jacks.
do is
Yeah.
call. Because I was worried about just calling and then checking the river and having him check back.
Right.
That's why I thought raising had to be had to be the better option.
All
So
right,
he
so you
does
get
this.
here, you check, right? We're
Right.
now trapping.
So
Right.
yeah,
Taking the
so
trap
we
line,
would
so
get
we check.
here, I would check. I would think that check would be the right move, and it
Right.
technically is in the solver.
Now, how big does he bet with his jacks?
So he doesn't actually check back very often.
No.
These are just flushes, but yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, he bets B75.
All right.
And then we're supposed to
Jam or ace queen.
all the flushes. So then the question here, so the queen, we would call with, except let's ignore nines. We call with anything below the nuts.
Okay.
I guess with exceptions with ace jack, but yeah. I mean, I
Yeah.
think we can simplify this to, we
Right.
shove the nuts, we call with anything less than nuts.
Right. So let's shove. And see if he now folds his jacks to us.
Flush, he mixes.
Who mixes?
He's indifferent AF.
Right. But he calls the jack 10 because he has fewer of them.
Yeah, he's very, very indifferent with his jacks.
But I guess I was wrestling with that check or just flat calling with one card to come and then checking. I just figured they were going to be checking behind a ton and we just lose so much value.
Yeah.
Is that just a solver nuance, like versus population?
I think versus population, you don't have to protect your checking range as much. I think you play more face up.
Right. Okay.
So
But when you say they're checking a ton, of the hands they check, how many of them want to call you on this 4 flush? So yeah, they're gonna check, they're gonna, if they bet the 6 of spades once, they're not gonna bet it again. That's true. Once you call. But when they bet an ace here, when they bet a non-flush card here, they're not calling the raise, right?
Yeah, that's what it is, Scotty, because they
Right.
just don't have like even like all of their pocket pairs that they called with pre-flop, all of their king X queen, whatever their Broadway crap.
Yeah.
They really don't have any hands to call. Like even ace, like an ace is going to have a hard time calling.
Yeah.
Yeah, they just don't have hands to call with unless it's a flush specifically.
Yeah. So there's so little that falls into the category of calls your check raise. I'm sorry, this is after the check. Yeah, calls your check raise, and but that also would have checked the river after you. So the hands that would check the river after you folded to your check raise anyway.
Mm-hmm.
And the exception is maybe sixes. I mean, the exception is maybe a single spade that calls a check raise once. Okay. So let's stop the recording and we'll continue with some marked hands.